5-hectare limit in owning agricultural lands. If you are interested in the topic, read this case with me. Parihas ta, interesado. This is a petition for review on certiorari, assailing the Court of Appeals decision and resolution. The decision and resolution reversed the order of the Department of Agrarian Reform Central Office, or the DARCO, in an administrative case, which directed that a 5-hectare piece of agricultural land be placed under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program pursuant to Republic Act No. 6657, or the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law. Facts of the case. The land originally formed part of the agricultural land covered by Transfer Certificate of Title No. 17680, which in turn formed part of the total of 73 plus hectares of agricultural land owned by Roman de Jesus. The petitioner Pablo Mendoza, the tenant, became the tenant of the land by virtue of a tenancy agreement executed between him and the landowner. Pursuant to that tenancy agreement, Mendoza has been paying 25 piculs of sugar every crop year as lease rental to the landowner. It was later changed to payment in cash from payment in kind, nahimo ng payment in cash, because the land was no longer devoted to sugar cane. So the original owner died. It was inherited by his surviving spouse and 2 children. One of the children waived his right in favor of his co-heirs. So this made the surviving spouse and the child who retained ownership owners in equal proportion of the agricultural land left by their deceased husband and father, respectively. Later, the child sold approximately 70 plus hectares to the respondent, Romeo Carriedo, which covered the following titles and tax declarations. So basically, 5 kayuta, 5 parcels of land, 4 of which are titled, 1 only has a tax declaration. The area sold to Carriedo, the first buyer, included the land tenanted by Mendoza, na isaop gapuyo, forming part of the area covered by Transfer Certificate of Title No. 17680. So, mo ni siya ang TCT 17680, kani nga yuta, mo ni siya na-involve aning kasuha jud. Mendoza alleged, the tenant, alleged that the sale took place without his knowledge and consent. Later, the first buyer from the heirs sold all of these land holdings to the second buyer. It is a foundation, foundation. It is a corporation represented by its president, Bernabe Boscaino. All the lands except that covered by TCT number 17680 were subject to VLT, Voluntary Land Transfer, DPS, Direct Payment Scheme, and were awarded to agrarian reform beneficiaries in 1997. The parties to this case were involved in 3 cases concerning the land. First, the ejectment case. Darab case na siya, ng ejectment. The landowner, the first buyer from the heirs, filed a complaint of ejectment and collection of unpaid rentals against the tenant before the PARAD, or the Provincial Agrarian Reform Adjudication Board. And this was docketed as a Darab case. Then later, he filed an amended complaint as to why he amended it, wata kabalo. In a decision, the PARAD ruled that the tenant had knowledge of the sale. Hence, he could not deny the fact, siguro ni, typographical error man. He could not deny the fact nor assail the validity of the conveyance. The tenant violated certain provisions of the law, subject to another discussion. And thus, the PARA declared the leasehold contract terminated and ordered the tenant to vacate the premises. The tenant filed an appeal with the Department of Agrarian Reform Adjudicatory Board, or the DARAB. In a decision, the DARAB affirmed the para decision in toto, meaning affirmed fully. It agreed with the para decision fully. The Darab ruled that ownership of the land belongs to the first buyer of the heirs. That the deed of sale was unregistered did not affect the first buyer's title, no? Si Carriedo. It did not affect Carriedo's title to the land. By virtue of his ownership, Carriedo was subrogated to the rights and obligation of the former landowner, Roman. The tenant then filed a petition for review with the Court of Appeals. The case was docketed with the Court of Appeals. In a decision, the Court of Appeals affirmed the Darab decision fully. The Court of Appeals ruled that the tenant's reliance on Section 6 of Republic Act No. 6657 as ground to nullify the sale between De Jesus and Carriedo was misplaced. The section being limited to retention limits. Iya mangi-question ang sale, no, ni Carriedo and De Jesus. It reiterated that registration was not a condition for the validity of the contract of sale between the parties. Mendoza's motions, no, the tenant's motions for reconsideration and new trial were subsequently denied. Thus, the tenant filed a petition for review on certiorari with the Honorable Supreme Court. In a resolution, the court denied the petition on a procedural basis for failure to comply with the requirements under Rule 45 of the Rules of Court. Mao man petition for review on certiorari. Rule 45, wa niya makomply ang requirements. An entry of judgment was issued. In effect, the decision of the Court of Appeals was affirmed and the following issues were settled with finality. First, the first buyer of the heirs, Carriedo, is the absolute owner of the 5-hectare land. Second, the tenant had knowledge of the sale between Carriedo and Mario De Jesus. Hence, he is bound by the sale. Third, due to his failure and refusal to pay the lease rentals, the tenancy relationship between Carriedo and Mendoza had been terminated. Later, the landholding covered by TCT number 17680, mao po ni siya ang subject na titulo, no? Mao ni siya na involved in kasuha, with an area of 12 plus hectares was divided into sublots, no? It was subdivided, gibuak-buak. 7 plus hectares was transferred to Bernabe Buscaino et al. Through a deed of transfer under PD number 27. Eventually, transfer certificate of title number 17680 was partially cancelled, and in lieu thereof, no, na ay emancipation patent. No? Emancipation patents were issued to Bernabe, Rad, and Juanito, all surnamed Buscaino. These lots were identified as lots C, D, and E, covered by transfer certificate of title numbers 44384, 44385, 44386. Lots A and B, consisting of approximately 5 hectares, and which is the land being occupied by the tenant Mendoza, were registered in the name of Carriedo and covered by transfer certificate of title number 344281 and transfer certificate of title 344282. So, muna panghitabo sa ilang ejectment case. Diri muna ta, basa muna ta sa panghitabo sa incidents regarding the second case, the redemption case, still a Darab case. The tenant Mendoza filed a petition for redemption with the Parad. In an order, the Parad dismissed this petition on the grounds of litis pendentia. No? Ako na ning gitag-an ha, kay na typographical error. On the grounds of litis pendentia and lack of the required certification against forum shopping. It dismissed the petition so that the pending appeal of the Darab case for the Darab ejectment case with the Court of Appeals can run its full course. No? I-dismiss muna siya para mahuman muna to ang ejectment case dito sa Court of Appeals. So, it was dismissed so that it can run its full course. Unsay reason? Since its outcome partakes of a prejudicial question, determinative of the tenability of Mendoza's right to redeem the land under tenancy. So, basically, ang resulta sa katong kaso sa ejectment mo-affect sa resulta aning petition for redemption. Moto nga gipahuman muna ang usa para may tabo na gidismiss ni ang second kaso for redemption. Unya, wa siya kadawat sa decision, iyang gi-appeal to the Darab, which reversed the parad order. The Darab granted the tenant redemption rights over the land. It ruled that at the time the first buyer of the heirs, Carriedo, filed his complaint for ejectment, he was no longer the owner of the land, having sold the land to the foundation already. Hence, the cause of action pertains to the foundation and not to him. It also ruled that the tenant was not notified of the sale of the land to Carriedo and of the latter subsequent sale to the foundation. The absence of the mandatory requirement of notice did not stop the running of the 180-day period within which the tenant could exercise his right of redemption. The motion of Carriedo, motion for reconsideration, was subsequently denied. Carriedo filed a petition for review with the Court of Appeals. In a decision, the Court of Appeals reversed the Darab decision. It ruled that Carriedo's ownership of the land had been conclusively established and even affirmed by this court. The tenant was not able to substantiate his claim that Carriedo was no longer the owner of the land at the time the latter filed his complaint for ejectment. It held that the Darab erred when it ruled that Mendoza, or the tenant, was not guilty of forum shopping. The tenant did not appeal the decision of the Court of Appeals. Next, the third case, the coverage case. Kay gasanga-sanga man eh. So, Mendoza and his daughter, Corazon Mendoza, and Orlando Gomez Orlando, filed a petition for coverage of the land under Republic Act number 6657. Okay? Petition for coverage. They claimed that they had been in physical and material possession of the land as tenants since 1956 and made the land productive. They prayed that an order be issued placing the land under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program and that the DAR, the Provincial Agrarian Reform Officer or PARO, and the Municipal Agrarian Reform Officer or MARO be ordered to proceed with the acquisition and distribution of the land in their favor. The petition was granted by the regional director, and it stated that the petition for coverage under CARP filed by Pablo Mendoza, the tenant, at et al. Is given due course. Accordingly, the MARO, Municipal, and the PARO, Provincial, are hereby directed to place within the ambit of Republic Act 6657 the land holding registered in the name of Romeo Carriedo, no, na-appeal sa CARP, covered and embraced by TCT numbers 334281 and 334282 with an aggregate area of 45,000 and 5,000 square meters respectively, and to distribute the same to qualified farmer beneficiaries. So ordered. Carriedo filed a protest with motion to reconsider the order and to lift coverage on the ground that he was denied his constitutional right to due process. He alleged that he was not notified of the filing of the petition for coverage and became aware of the same only upon receipt of the challenge order. Carriedo received a copy of the notice of coverage from the MARO, Municipal Agrarian Reform Officer, informing him that the land had been placed under the coverage of CARP. The regional director denied Carriedo's protest in an order, and Carriedo filed an appeal to the DARCO, no, Department of Agrarian Reform Central Office. In an order, the DARCO, through Secretary Renesi Villa, affirmed the order of the regional director granting coverage. The DARCO ruled that Carriedo was no longer allowed to retain the land due to his violation of the provisions of Republic Act number 6657. His act of disposing his agricultural land holdings was tantamount to the exercise of his retention right or an act amounting to a valid waiver of such right in accordance with applicable laws and jurisprudence. However, it did not rule whether the tenant Mendoza was qualified to be a farmer beneficiary of the land. The dispositive portion of the order reads, "Wherefore, premises considered, the instant appeal is hereby dismissed for lack of merit. Consequently, the order of the regional director is hereby affirmed." So ordered. Carriedo filed a petition for review with the Court of Appeals assailing the DARCO order. The appeal was docketed with the Court of Appeals. In a decision, the Court of Appeals reversed the DARCO and declared the land as Carriedo's retained area. The Court of Appeals ruled that the right of retention is a constitutionally guaranteed right, subject to certain qualifications specified by the legislature. It serves to mitigate the effects of compulsory land acquisition by balancing the rights of the landowner and the tenant, by implementing the doctrine that social justice, doctrine that social justice was not meant to perpetrate an injustice against the landowner. It held that Carriedo did not commit any of the acts which would constitute waiver of his retention rights found under Section 6 of the Department of Agrarian Reform Administrative Order Number 2 Series of 2003. The dispositive portion of the decision reads, "Wherefore, premises considered and pursuant to the applicable law and jurisprudence on the matter, the present petition is hereby granted. Accordingly, the assailed order of the DARCO is hereby reversed and set aside, and a new one entered, declaring the subject land holding as the petitioner's retained area. No pronouncements as to costs." So ordered. Hence, this petition before the Honorable Supreme Court, petitioners maintain that the Court of Appeals committed a reversible error in declaring the land as Carriedo's retained area. They claim that Paragraph 4, Section 6 of Republic Act No. 6657 prohibits any sale, disposition, lease, management contract, or transfer of possession of private lands upon effectivity of the law. Thus, the regional director correctly observed that Carriedo's act of disposing his agricultural property would be tantamount to his exercise of retention under the law. By violating the law, Carriedo could no longer retain what was left of his property. To rule otherwise would be a roundabout way of rewarding a landowner who has violated the explicit provisions of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law. They also assert that Carriedo waived his right to retain for failure or neglect for an unreasonable length of time to do that which he may have done earlier by exercising due diligence, warranting a presumption that he abandoned his right or declined to assert it. Petitioners claim that Carriedo has not filed an application for retention over the subject land over a considerable passage of time since the same was acquired for distribution to a qualified farmer beneficiary. Lastly, they argue that certificates of land ownership award, CLOAS, already generated in favor of his co-petitioners, Corazon Mendoza and Rolando Gomez, cannot be set aside. CLOAS under Republic Act No. 6657, according to them, are enrolled in the torrent system of registration, which makes them indefeasible as certificates of title issued in registration proceedings. Muna ilang theory, ilang argument. Now, the sole issue for the consideration of the Honorable Supreme Court is whether Carriedo, the first buyer of the heirs, has the right to retain the land. What is the ruling of the Honorable Supreme Court? We rule in the affirmative, according to this decision. Carriedo did not waive his right of retention over the land. The 1987 Constitution expressly recognizes landowner retention rights under Article 13, Section 4. Section 4 states, "The state shall, by law, undertake an agrarian reform program founded on the right of farmers and regular farm workers who are landless to own directly or collectively the lands they till, or in the case of other farm workers, to receive a just share of the fruits thereof. To this end, the state shall encourage and undertake the just distribution, okay, the just distribution of all agricultural lands, subject to such priorities and reasonable retention limits as the Congress may prescribe, taking into account ecological, developmental, or equity considerations, and subject to the payment of just compensation. In determining retention limits, the state shall respect the right of small landowners. The state shall further provide incentives for voluntary land sharing. Republic Act Number 6657 implements this directive. Section 6. Section 6, retention limits. Except as otherwise provided in this act, no person may own or retain directly or indirectly any public or private agricultural land, the size of which shall vary according to factors governing a viable family-size farm, such as commodity produce, terrain, infrastructure, and soil fertility as determined by the Presidential Agrarian Reform Council, created hereunder, but in no case shall retention by the landowner exceed 5 hectares. So, nailimit. The right to choose the area to be retained, which shall be compact or contiguous, shall pertain to the landowner, provided, however, that in case the area selected for retention by the landowner is tenanted, the tenant shall have the option to choose whether to remain therein or be a beneficiary in the name or be a beneficiary in the same or another agricultural land with similar or comparable features. In case the tenant chooses to remain in the retained area, he shall be considered a leaseholder and shall lose his right to be a beneficiary under this act. In case the tenant chooses to be a beneficiary in another agricultural land, he loses his right as a leaseholder to the land retained by the landowner. The tenant must exercise this option within a period of 1 year from the time the landowner manifests his choice of the area for retention. In all cases, the security of tenure of the farmers or farm workers on the land prior to the approval of this act shall be respected. In another case, the Honorable Supreme Court explained the rationale for the grant of time ba ni? Typo error, no? For the right of retention under agrarian reform laws, such as Republic Act Number 6657 and its predecessor, Presidential Decree Number 27. The right of retention is a constitutionally guaranteed right, which is subject to qualification by the legislature. It serves to mitigate the effects of compulsory land acquisition by balancing the rights of the landowner and the tenant, and by implementing the doctrine that social justice was not meant to perpetrate an injustice against the landowner. A retained area, as its name denotes, is land which is not supposed to anymore leave the landowner's dominion, thus sparing the government from the inconvenience of taking land only to return it to the landowner afterwards, which would be a pointless process. For as long as the area to be retained is compact or contiguous and does not exceed the retention ceiling of 5 hectares, a landowner's choice of the area to be retained must prevail. To interpret Section 6 of Republic Act Number 6657, the Department of Agrarian Reform issued an Administrative Order Number 2, Series of 2003. It provides for the instances when a landowner is deemed to have waived his right of retention. So, under Section 6, na ay waiver of the right of retention, the landowner waives his right to retain by committing any of the following act or omission. So, na ay 7 diri sa lista, no? Na ay 7 instances. Petitioners cannot rely on the regional director's order which granted the tenant's petition for coverage on the ground that Carriedo violated paragraph 4, no? Violated paragraph 4, section 6 of Republic Act Number 6657 for disposing of his agricultural land, consequently losing his right of retention. At the time when the order was rendered, up to the time when it was affirmed by the DARCO, the applicable law Okay? The applicable law is Section 6 of DAR Administrative Order Number 2, Series of 2003. Section 6 clearly shows that the disposition of agricultural land is not an act constituting waiver of the right of retention. Kay kanigong Section 6 na siya lista from 6.1 to 6.7. So naay 7 instances nga naay waiver of the right of retention. Ang nahitabo diri, ang nabuhat ni Carriedo, wala ma-appeal sa 7 instances listed under Section 6. Thus, as correctly held by the Court of Appeals, Carriedo never committed any of the acts or omissions above stated under DAR Administrative Order Number 2, Series of 2003. Not even the sale made by the herein petitioner in favor of the foundation can be considered as a waiver of his right of retention. Likewise, the records of the present case is bereft of any showing that the herein petitioner expressly waived in writing his right of retention as required under subsection 6.3, Section 6 of DAR Administrative Order Number 2, Series of 2003. Petitioners claim that Carriedo's alleged failure to exercise his right of retention after a long period of time constituted a waiver of his retention rights as envisioned in item 6.7 of DAR Administrative Order Number 2, Series of 2003. Unsam ni? 6.7. Performing any act constituting estoppel by laches, which is the failure or neglect for an unreasonable length of time to do that which he may have done earlier by exercising due diligence, warranting a presumption that he abandoned his right or declined to assert it. We disagree, according to the Honorable Supreme Court. Laches is defined as the failure or neglect for an unreasonable and unexplained length of time to do that which, by exercising due diligence, could or should have been done earlier. It is negligence or omission to assert a right within a reasonable time, warranting a presumption that the party entitled to assert it either has abandoned it or declined to assert it. Where a party sleeps on his rights and allows laches to set in, the same is fatal to his case. So, under Section 4 of the same administrative order, there is a provision on the period to exercise right of retention under Republic Act number 6657. So, kanay mohang right of retention na period to exercise it under Republic Act 6657 as written in Section 4 of the Administrative Order. So, naay tulo ka instances kanus ani mo ma-exercise imuhang right of retention, no? Naay tulo ka periods. So, the petitioner may exercise his right of retention at any time before receipt of notice of coverage. Second, under the compulsory acquisition scheme, the landowner shall exercise his right of retention within 60 days from receipt of notice of coverage. So, ang first ground, 4.1, before notice. Ang second, 60 days after notice. No? Or from receipt of notice, diyan nimo ihapon mo 60 days. 4.3, so simultaneously, at the time of offer for sale or transfer, kung appeal ka or mo-avail ka sa voluntary offer to sell, voluntary land transfer, or direct payment scheme, no? Simultaneously sa iyang offer for sale or transfer. The foregoing rules give Carriedo any time before receipt of the notice of coverage to exercise his right of retention, or if under compulsory acquisition, as in this case, within 60 days from receipt of the notice of coverage. The validity of the notice of coverage is the very subject of the controversy before this court. Thus, the period within which Carriedo should exercise his right of retention cannot commence or cannot start until final resolution of this case. Even assuming that the period within which Carriedo could exercise his right of retention has commenced, Carriedo cannot be said to have neglected to assert his right of retention over the land. Kaya wa man gyud siya mo neglect, no? Ni take man jud siya og steps to protect his right. He did not sleep on his rights, no? So na mga issuances diri nga hisgutan ang decision. Let's go to the material part. Kaya nag-cite mo og jurisprudence more on sa kanibang ga-conflict ang administrative order o ang balaod ba. But let us focus on the not more on the statutory construction. Let's focus on the matter involving the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law. Okay? Yeah, highlight discussion diri. CLOAs and EPs, no? Certificate of Land Ownership Awards and Emancipation Patents are similar in nature to a certificate of land transfer in ordinary land registration proceedings. CLTs and in turn the CLOAs and EPs are issued merely as preparatory steps for the eventual issuance of a certificate of title. They do not possess the indivisibility of certificates of title. Gisite pa diri ang contents sa libro ni Justice Agkawili, siyang libro nga Property Registration Decree and Related Laws. Mo ni ang libro kasagaran, no, sa land titles and deeds. Under Presidential Decree number 27, beneficiaries are issued certificates of land transfers, CLTs. Sa karaan niya, PD number 27, to entitle them to possess lands. Thereafter, possession pa to, they are issued emancipation patents, the same as free patent, pero under PD 27, emancipation patents, after compliance with all the necessary conditions. Such emancipation patents, upon their presentation to the Register of Deeds, shall be the basis for the issuance of the corresponding transfer certificates of titles in favor of the corresponding beneficiaries. Under Republic Act number 6657, the procedure has been simplified. No? CLOA na lahos. Wala na emancipation patent. Upon presentation of the CLOA to the Register of Deeds, titles are issued to the designated beneficiaries. Wala na CLT, no? So wala na CLT, wala na EP, no? CLOAs are issued in lieu of emancipation patents. CLTs, no, certificates of land transfer, are no longer issued. The issuance of EPs or CLOAs to beneficiaries does not absolutely bar the landowner from retaining the area covered thereby. Meaning, dili siya mura og titulo. Until ma-issuehan ka og titulo kaning EP or CLOA, dili siya pares og epekto sa titulo. Under Administrative Order number 2, series of 1994, an EP or CLOA may be cancelled, no? Dili gyud siya mura titulo. Preparatory step lang ni. If the landowner or the land covered by the EP or CLOA is later found to be part of the landowner's retained area, nasud siya sa retained area ni landowner, then pwede makancel ang emancipation patent or CLOA. The issue, however, involving the issuance, recall, or cancellation of emancipation patents or CLOAs is lodged with the DAR, which has the primary jurisdiction over the matter. Wherefore, premises considered, the petition is hereby denied for lack of merit. The sale decision of the Court of Appeals is affirmed. Item number 4 of DAR Administrative Order number 5, series of 2006, is hereby declared invalid, void, and of no effect for being ultra vires. Okay. Kani siya nga kaso, kuyaw ni siya kay, no? Extensive kayo discussion. Napadyod ni motion for reconsideration, taas ang kayo. Muna itong basahon next time, no? Tanaw na to unsay decision sa motion for reconsideration ani before the Honorable Supreme Court. But ang ponente, I think same ang justice. Si Justice Ardelesa gyapon. Okay? So I'll see you in the next video.